Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, it's not just some book you read and put back on the shelf. It's really a philosophy for living. For over 20 years, Hill basically dedicated his life to studying the most successful people of his time. I'm talking about titans like Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, and Thomas Edison. He wanted to boil down exactly what they did, what they thought, that turned their ideas into massive fortunes. And he was convinced he'd found a secret, something so powerful it could change absolutely anyone's life.
Okay, so let's get right into it. This one sentence right here, this is the first big clue to finding that secret. This was actually a challenge from the industrialist Andrew Carnegie to Napoleon Hill. He basically said, take this truth, go out and prove it, and then organize it into a philosophy that the whole world can use, or at least for those who are ready to hear it.
So here's the interesting part. Hill never just comes out and says, the secret is, he believed it was more powerful if you discovered it for yourself, that he should leave it right there in plain sight where anyone who was really looking could pick it up. So, in this explainer, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to follow the clues he left behind and piece together this secret that literally created hundreds of millionaires.
So, where do we even begin? Well, the first step, the absolute starting point for any and all achievement, is desire. But Hill is crystal clear on this. We're not talking about a simple wish or a vague hope. We're talking about a sharp, pulsating, burning desire. It has to become an all-consuming obsession. This is the foundation, the launch pad for everything that comes next. I mean, look at the story of Edwin C. Barnes. It's the perfect example of what we're talking about. Barnes had one single all-consuming desire. He wanted to become a business associate of the great Thomas Edison. And get this, he had no money, zero connections, and when he first arrived at Edison's lab, he apparently looked like an ordinary tramp. But he just stood there and announced he was there to go into business with the inventor.
That level of commitment, that's what separates a real desire from just wishing. See, Barnes wasn't just hoping for a lucky break. His desire was so definite, so powerful that Hill says he burned all bridges behind him. He left himself absolutely no way to back out. He had to win, or that was it. Now that is the kind of desire that gets noticed.
Okay, so having a burning desire is like having a tank full of rocket fuel. But you still need the rocket, right? You need an engine to turn all that energy into actual movement. So how do you do it? How do you actually make it happen? This is where Hill's philosophy gets incredibly practical. He doesn't just give you vague ideas, he lays out a precise, step-by-step method.
To answer that question, Hill gives us 6 definite, practical steps. This isn't some abstract theory, It's a concrete formula for turning that intangible spark of desire into its physical financial equivalent. Think of it as the literal recipe for riches.
Do you notice the theme here? It's all about being definite. Not a lot of money, but an exact number. Not someday, but a specific date. And step 6 is the key that unlocks the whole thing. By reading your statement and really seeing and feeling it like it's already happened, you start to program your subconscious mind. You're basically convincing your own brain that this is happening, creating what Hill called money consciousness.
So, once you've got that burning desire and your definite plan, you need to add the catalyst. Hill calls this ingredient the head chemist of the mind. And that critical element is faith. This is the stuff that gives life, power, and real action to your thoughts.
Now, this is really important to get. Faith in this context is not about blind hope or wishful thinking. According to Hill, it is a state of mind that you can actually create on purpose. By repeating your definite plan over and over again through what he calls autosuggestion, you convince your subconscious that your goal isn't just possible, it's inevitable. That deep down conviction, that is faith.
And the power you get from this kind of faith is just immense. It removes your self-imposed limitations. It transforms failures into stepping stones. It's the only known antidote for failure. And it's the very thing that, when mixed with your thoughts, gives you a direct line to what Hill called infinite intelligence, which you can think of as the universe's giant database of knowledge and power that you can tap into.
All right, so you've got desire, you've got a plan, and you've got faith. But there is one more massive power-up we need to talk about before we can truly unveil the secret. It's a concept Hill said was behind pretty much every great fortune ever built, the mastermind.
The big idea here is simple. No one is smart enough, experienced enough, or talented enough to build a massive fortune all by themselves. It's just not possible. But when you align with other people in a spirit of perfect harmony, you don't just add their brain power to yours, you actually multiply it.
And this right here is the magic of the mastermind principle. This third mind is this invisible creative force.
It's where the new ideas, the genius solutions, and the incredible insights come from. Things that no single person in that group could have ever come up with on their own. It's like 1 + 1 = 3.
Henry Ford is the perfect case study for this. The man had very little formal education, but look who he surrounded himself with. Brilliant minds like Edison, Firestone, Burroughs, and Burbank. He didn't need to have all the answers in his own head. He knew how to tap into them through his Mastermind group. He was basically absorbing their collective brainpower.
So now we've gathered all the pieces. We have a burning desire, we have a definite plan, we have unshakable faith, and we have the multiplied power of a mastermind. Let's put it all together and finally reveal the secret that Andrew Carnegie tasked Napoleon Hill with sharing with the entire world.
And there it is. The secret isn't some magic password or a complicated trick. It is the deep, life-altering understanding that your thoughts are not just little fleeting things in your head. They are real, tangible forces. They are units of energy. And when you mix those thoughts with the right ingredients, they literally have the power to organize themselves into physical reality.
This is the formula. This is the whole process of transmutation. You start with the non-physical energy of a thought, your desire. You give that thought a blueprint with a plan. You charge it up with faith. You keep it going with persistence, and you amplify it with the mastermind. This is how you literally think and grow rich.
Now, that last part about little or no hard work, that can definitely be misunderstood. It doesn't mean you sit on the couch and do nothing. Of course not. It means that the physical labor, the hard work, is secondary. The real work, the most important work, happens in your mind first. Creating wealth is an inside job. It all starts with your state of mind.
So, we've walked through all the principles. We've uncovered the secret process for turning thoughts into things. But as we all know, knowing the path and actually walking the path are two totally different things. And that brings us to the final and, frankly, the most important step of all. This is the ultimate truth of this entire philosophy. Nature has given every single one of us absolute control over one thing, and only one thing, our own thoughts. That is our power. And since everything we create in our life begins as a thought, this power to control our mind is the power to control our entire destiny.
Hill was convinced this secret was meant for people who were truly ready and actively searching for it. And now you've seen it, laid out from the clues he left for us. The philosophy itself is simple. The principles are timeless. So the only question that's left is the one he leaves for you. You have the secret now. What are you going to do with it?